sure you... So the first segment of the day will be Date of the Week. And, you know, every week we give you a new dating option to do some things outside of the box and take your girl out or your guy out on something other than a dinner and a movie. So this week is a football game. So we're in the heat of football season, and this is the time of year where it gets exciting to go to games. Girl Jazz here has went on a date to a football game, and I want her to tell us a little bit about that. So Jazz, let us know.
Yeah, do tell.
Okay, so I went on a date to a football game. I'm not gonna tell you which game, but you went on a date to a football game. It was really awesome. The seats were really close. You know, it wasn't cold.
Mm-hmm.
It was really cool. I don't go to a lot of football games, but lately I've been going to more. So it was pretty interesting. I will say around halftime I was pretty much ready to go.
That's the girl in us.
But
yes,
I stayed and stuck it out, even though I was ready to go. And after the game, you get to go on the field and see all the players and all the kids take pictures, and it was really cool. Had fun. Overall.
Everyone doesn't get to go on the field, so
Yeah,
do you want to tell?
like,
you know, do you want us to know like how you?
If
got...
you get to date a player, then
you get more privileges.
then you get to go on the field before and after.
She had the ultimate experience.
I give it about an 8.
An 8 out of 10. Okay.
8
Well,
out of
that's
10.
not bad at all. I mean, going to football games are really like fun, but like she said, I'm a girl, so
Halftime, we're ready to go.
I am definitely
I
ready
ate,
to
I drank.
go.
The margaritas were good, and I took my family with me to the game.
Oh, okay, that's nice.
We all went to the game.
Congratulations.
Right? Shout out to Jazz and her wonderful date week at a football game. The next segment will be presented by my girl, Courtney, who is the newest member of the team, a permanent member of the team. Shout out to her. I'm really loving to have her a part of the Sabrae Show Live. So she'll be bringing us, yes, so excited. So she'll be bringing us some viral stories that seem to interest us the most for this week. So Courtney, let us know.
Okay, so let's talk about like some related topics to what happened this weekend on social media, like some big like happening topics that happened. First, let's talk about the Kodak Black being released from prison. He was released on December 1st.
Good for him. Shout out to Kodak Black getting released from jail.
But he's out on bail.
$100,000 bail.
Yeah.
100. Okay.
Yeah.
Crazy.
So, I don't know if all of you know, but Kodak Black got locked up because he slept with a groupie. He got arrested for sexual assault to one of his groupies or one of his girls he slept with. So, that was very interesting to, get the inside of what was going on with that. So, I mean...
Did they release her name?
No, I don't think they released her name. But yeah, she definitely did, hit him up on that one. So...
Yeah,
I don't know, but it was a video of him singing "I'm Not Sorry" by Beyonce.
Do we have the clip of that?
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's show the clip.
So that was interesting. So going on to the next one, I know that all of you heard of a 21 Savage and Tyga beefing.
Yes, I did hear that. I saw something. Did you see the Instagram?
Definitely.
Where did you see it?
Okay, so 21 Savage posted a Twitter post
Okay.
of Kylie Jenner.
Yeah.
Yes, I saw
And
that.
Boss Bitch's wife.
WCW.
Or it was like Boss Bitch's
And
wife
maybe it
and
was a few
niggas.
of them.
Like,
Yes,
it was that one. Shout out to all my
Boss Bitch's wife and niggas.
Okay.
Why you got one car and a 12 car garage? Sucking dick for a Ferrari, don't forget to lick the bar.
Playing with the one-on-one, fuck boy. I'm gonna kill your bitch ass. Stop lying, bitch. Straight up.
So, do y'all think that's like a fake beef? Like, what kind of man code is on that? Because I just think that was like the ultimate level of disrespect.
Not
I don't think it's a
even.
beef because Tyga didn't say anything.
Yeah, Tyga didn't respond.
No, but he did. I mean, he was.
Oh, but he
Kylie
had
did post that.
That's
She
his
did
song.
post a video of him
Oh, so he
when
did
Tyga.
retaliate.
Yeah, Tyga did like go over his one of his songs and was like,
Yeah,
you know,
he did
basically-
X Factor.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
So
he gonna do a sneak diss.
he definitely retaliated with that one, but and then Kylie was like in the mirror on Snapchat with it.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was interesting. So I mean, like I don't understand what that was all for, but yeah. So next we're gonna go into J. Cole. Okay, so J. Cole, he released a 40-minute documentary out during the week, and it was very interesting because he said that he's going to release his first, well not his first, but he's going to release his album on December 9th. And so, you know, how do you all feel about that? I mean, like with him coming out with this new album, I mean, he's been kind of like in hiding. Like,
I want to know what y'all think about False Prophet.
yeah, and then
I
he
really
came
wish
out
it
with
was
that
y'all
diss, you know?
Overall, like
Definitely.
The song.
The
Yeah.
song was definitely dope.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it was.
They say he took shots. He definitely threw some bullets out. But overall, the song was good. It was a good song. He was pretty much announcing that even though he's been gone, he's still pretty relevant in the rap game. And
Right.
I don't think it was a diss though.
Either.
He was respectful about it. He just called out friends, like, cause he's friends with the people he called out. Well,
Who did
everybody
call out
know
Wale and
he called out Kanye.
Kanye.
I was trying to listen to
Yeah.
if it was Wale, but I couldn't. I couldn't.
No, but
decipher
it was Wale because Wale came
was
out
Wale.
with
With
a
another
diss
one.
back to
Exactly.
him.
It's
The
definitely
World
confirmed
Star.
that it's Wale.
It
So
came
it was
out
definitely-
back to back, but Wale also posted a video with J. Cole and was like, "We're still friends." So it was
Okay.
really no love lost, but
Yeah.
It's like
it
friendly
was
fire.
friendly
Yeah.
hip hop.
Yeah, I never took it as a diss. I mean, when they say the J. Cole diss, I always thought it as like, okay, that is a way to get people to click on it. But it really wasn't a diss. Like, even when he was saying about Kanye, he was basically, in my opinion, he was saying what all Kanye fans feel about Kanye. Like, you know, like,
much,
calm
yeah.
down. Like, stop letting your ego get the best of you. But about Wale, that's really, I mean, the Kanye thing, okay, yeah, like, everybody thinks that about Kanye. I agree with J. Cole. But the thing about Wale, I really agree with J. Cole. Wale's last interview on The Breakfast Club, I thought tears was going to come out of his eyes. And I'm like, you're a grown man. Like, I understand, like, you may feel underrated or you may feel like these other people are getting shine over you. But it's like, you a man. Like, Fabulous don't get that shine, all the shine that people think he deserves, you know, for being, like, lyrical and selling records and stuff like that. But you don't see him talking about, y'all don't play my records, you know, y'all don't respect me like y'all respect somebody like Drake. And I'm just like, dude, it make you look extra weak as a man. Like, you're like, no confidence.
Yeah, that is true.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and I like Wale because he's from the DMV. But it's just like, dude, like, do that with your friends and with your fam. But, like, on a Breakfast Club.
But
like,
you know, Wale is a very an emotional person. He's the type of person where he reacts off his emotions.
yeah, I be seeing him
like,
going
you
back and
know,
forth with people online. Like, celebrity, I feel like that's like a celebrity rule. Like, don't let people in the public get the best of you in public.
But that's what Kanye does too. But like you said, he's on a different level than Wale,
True.
so it's kind of like you can't even like put them on the
Compare.
same pedestal, you know. So it's like you kind of gotta let that one go.
Yeah. I don't know. I just feel like if Wale, you know, who will probably end up watching the show. So what's up? But yeah, like, it's all about perception and how you carry yourself, like, as a man. Like, that's even what women are attracted to. Like, you may not have it all or be recognized for it all, but if you carry yourself with a certain, you know, confidence, like, I don't care who recognizes me or who thinks I'm this or that. I know I'm this or that.
Hot 97's Hot for the Holiday concert. Now, when I say that Teyana Taylor was like, and Usher were like the connection was so real.
Okay.
It's
Let's play the video. Let's play the video. Okay, so after watching that video,
Man, they got
what you
Okay,
think about
so
that?
I think the video was hot, but I think that Teyana Taylor didn't mean to make it that hot. I think that she didn't really notice that Usher was behind her doing all of that.
I have an interesting perspective on this because I feel like the entertainment industry is objectifying Teyana Taylor. After that Fade video, all I see her in is crop tops. It's like, okay, is everybody, like, VH1 is like, okay, we need you on this award show with a crop top because you know about that Fade video. Soul Chain, I know it is, though.
It is.
But I'm just saying, not everywhere crop top. Like, Teyana Taylor stylist, like, switch it up a little bit.
I mean, like, the video was very hot, you know, shout out to Teyana Taylor and Usher for that one, but in the same token, like, you know, I guess you got to be very mindful of what you do when you're in the entertainment industry. But I mean, Usher I guess it was just like just a plaything.
What'd you think, Vic?
I like the video. The video was definitely dope. I'm not gonna sit here and say that she didn't know Usher was behind her. I feel like women in the club know when a guy trying to get past. Like, y'all look back when a dude say, "Excuse me." Like,
what it do?
Nah.
Like, excuse me,
excuse
me, baby girl.
Excuse me. Nah,
You
no.
don't know to do that.
She knew he was back there, but she walked away. She was like, "Oh, this is on camera.
Yeah.
I probably shouldn't be doing this because
Right.
I'm about to be married."
I didn't think she, because he wasn't. I don't think he was touching her though.
I mean, Usher was being a guy at the end of the day.
Yeah.
She's grinding like that on stage. She sits in one spot. He said, "Excuse me," and she ain't moved. So, so that's pretty much what happened. And then he just wanted to see how far he could go. But the video was dope though.
Yeah.
She definitely can dance. And her
Yeah.
stomach is like that.
Like that.
Stomach is amazing.
Tom, what'd you think?
I don't think it's a big deal actually. Like, it's just they're entertainers. They gotta do like they gotta cause an uproar. So
Yeah,
it's not serious.
true.
But I'm single, so.
You trying
Okay, everybody.
Don't listen to me. Like, if you a
He's
girl,
single.
like, don't.
I'm single.
Antonio is single and ready. And he's free this
Ready.
month. What's up? Okay. All right, everyone. This brings us to this next segment called Black Business on Blast. And every week we put out a black business who is doing well, who has great customer service, who is here to service you, and so we can get our economy together. Because after all, in order to have political clout as black people, we have to have an economy. So we're working on that, and that's why every week we put out a black business so we can, know about who's offering the services that we use every day. So Jazz is bringing us the Black Business on Blast.
Okay, so I have these chokers. It's called So Pretty by Jazz. I
That is
hand
cute.
make my chokers.
Oh, that is
So you can
That is
do
cute.
custom
Yes.
orders. You can do different colors. I just bought
That
a
is
few
cute.
of my bestsellers. These are bestsellers. All of them laced down. This is sweet.
That is cute. I should.
I also have my jean one.
Yeah, that's what I wanted. the
That
jean
is
one. I
cute.
was
And
looking
it's
on
slim.
Fashion Nova for a jean one.
Super cute.
Mhm.
And all of them, only $20.
Yes.
All of my chokers
Super
are
cute.
$20. This
Go
is
support,
actually
guys.
the latest one that I have. And it looks like the one you have on, which I love as well.
Yeah, that's cute. Yes, I like
I
the
should've-
little African.
Yeah, but we're not talking about that. We talking about that. Okay. I love that one because you can layer it. I
You
love
can layer
chokers.
it.
That is
I
like
love
my
the layers
favorite.
right now. That's also what I have on right now is my Bad and Bougie choker.
Yes, Bad and Bougie.
But I also have this one. It's a little longer, so if you wanted to hang down even farther.
Yes.
All
Which
of
is
mine
goes
are only
good for low cut
$20.
shirt.
Yeah.
Yes, you can go to my website, www.soprettybyjas.com.
Yes. That too. And if you want to be on Black Business on Blast, make sure you email me at sabrae.denby@gmail.com and I'll leave it at the bottom. All right, so let's get into the topic. Today's topic is, are black women too independent for black men? And this is such a controversial topic because, as we know, most black women are raised to, get a job and go to school and make sure you don't need no man. And so we're going to go into that teaching and we're going to find out, is that teaching flawed? Should we continue to pass that down? Or should we, look that over and rethink that and reteach it in a better way. So we're going to go around and get everyone's opinion on, do we think that teaching is flawed, or is that teaching necessary for the Black community? So, Courtney, what do you think? Are Black women too independent for Black men?
I mean, in some instances, yes. I would say that I do know this one individual woman that she lives in New York now, and she is very successful. She has her own company out there, and she's doing very well. And she's Black, and she doesn't have a man. So, I mean, like, I think that's very interesting, you know, because it's not like she just, it seems like every guy that she meets that we always talk about, it's like she cannot, you know, stay on the same page with them. So they end up breaking up.
Why do you think that is, though?
I think it's because, first of all, her lifestyle is way too busy. Mm-hmm. And a lot of guys in general just can't keep up sometimes. You know, I know earlier we were kind of talking about that, you know, but you kind of have to be on the same page with that individual. If you're not, then it's not going to work out, you know. And as far as with African American women, I feel like it goes back from slavery times, you know, like when we were sold to different slave masters, we didn't have that foundation of family, you know, and we had to kind of figure it out for ourselves, you know, like, you know, we had to kind of grow into another family and things like that. So it's kind of like, I mean, what else could you do? You had to be independent, you know, and you were Black, so you had to be independent.
So what do you think, Jess? Do you think that Black women are too independent for Black men?
I think that in sense, yes and no, because you have two different types of independent women. You have the ones who can do for themselves, do for themselves, but also want a man on their level who can do the same things and do it, and they, you know, well, yeah, I'm gonna, you know, you can do that for me, so I'm gonna put this in the bank. Or, you know, we're on the same level, so we can do this. But then you have the other independent women who are, I don't need you to do anything for me. I can do it myself, and da-da-da. And those are kind of the ones that I think may chase the guy away just a teeny bit. But I feel like now guys, when they're dating, they kind of want their woman to do what they say. And we've kind of been taught that, well, I do for my own, so I don't have to do what you say. Mm-hmm. And I think that's why relationships don't work out so much, because the guy may say, well, I want her to act a certain way because they have their perception on what they want their female or their woman or their chick to act like. Mm-hmm. But I think that's what kind of where men and women are not on the same page with the independent part, because women, we just think we know everything.
Yeah, that is true.
So Vic, what about you? So because a lot of publications will have this conversation with Black women, but it's strange to me that they won't have it with Black men. So let's hear from some Black men on what do they think about that logic of teaching. Is it flawed, or is it appropriate? Has it been working, or has it not? What you think, Vic?
I don't feel it's flawed. Independent women, I feel like most of them develop this dominant attitude towards their lifestyle and towards men in general, because they've been doing for themselves so long. When a man comes in, they don't want to be submissive because they're so dominant, and they're like, oh, well, like she said, you can't tell me what to do. But at the end of the day, it's a man's nature to be dominant, because we're supposed to be the head of the household. And when a woman feels or gets their own and they're the head of the household, they don't want to be submissive. Not saying that a woman is supposed to be, oh yes, but to be equal or on the same ground, because they've been in charge for so long, it's not right to them that they feel they should be stepped down, or, you know, so they feel either you're going to be on the same page as me, or we can't do nothing. Mm-hmm. So me personally, I love an independent woman. I don't feel I should have to take care of you. I mean, granted, chivalry isn't dead with me. I'll open your car doors sometimes.
No, that's real. That's real.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I agree. Like, your arms still work. You don't need me to walk around to the other side of the car to get your car door. But if I'm walking you to the car and I just so happen to be at the same door, sure, I'll get it for you. Or this kills me as well when we're going into a restaurant and a woman stops at the door.
I do that.
What you doing, bro?
I do that.
I mean, whatever works.
No, I understand. I'm supposed to get the door, but like, if I'm feet behind, don't just stop at the door. I mean, your arms still work. You can get the door.
So basically, more of the story, play it off. I feel like you looking for some of your purse.
Like something. Don't just be like, oh, he's a man. He's gonna get this door. No.
I try to go slowly and try to look at my phone and
play it off.
Stop and look at my nails
Stop
or
it.
something.
Open the door.
Like, I know you're gonna get the door. Like, what are you doing?
Open the door. I mean, 9 times out of 10, I'm gonna get the door. But if I'm coming from the car and you waiting, like. Man, he'll take a long time to open this door. Walk inside.
So what you think?
If I don't get the first one, I get the second one. Like,
he pretty much said everything that basically I feel. I think it's dudes are intimidated by women because independent women, like he said, is dominant. So if a guy feel that she's more successful, like he feels that she's like he's very replaceable, he's basically he has no value in her life, so that's where the problem comes in.
That is one of the biggest problems when it comes to independent, not independent females, but like women who internalize that I'm independent, I don't need a man. Because it's one thing about being independent, and there's another thing about being so independent where you don't need a man. And it's sad, but a lot of black women were raised to not need a man. And while some of that is true, where because you don't need anybody but God, technically, or whatever you believe in, technically. But to live the lifestyle that majority of us want to live, and to have that companion that most of us want to have, you do need that. And I think that it is flawed. My opinion is that teaching is flawed. I feel like there should be more of a balance. I feel like that we should teach our daughters that be in a position where you can feed yourself if it doesn't work out, or you can have shelter for yourself if it doesn't work out. But make sure that man is needed. Like, you need that man for support, for comfort, for protection, and all those other things that we need men for. But we shouldn't stay in a harmful situation or a bad situation because we can't afford to, or we can't eat without it. I just feel like there should be a balance in that. But I do believe that there were systematic things to create that mindset of black women specifically not needing a man, because no other group teaches their women that.
And that's why I said it comes from slavery. I think when we didn't have the males in the household, everybody was kind of taught to do their own thing back then. So I think that kind of goes to now, so.
Well, actually, and to that point, and a lot of us think like that, and some of that is true because we do have this post-slavery mindset of things. But post-slavery, when a lot of black families were still together. Like our great-great-grandparents, they were together a lot for a long time. So I don't think that it was that, me personally, because the black family was together until the 60s and 70s, the 60s or early 70s, where there was a feminist movement around the same time that the civil rights movement came about. And basically these white feminists came around talking about, they were trying to get liberation from their men because their men oppressed them by, wanting them to stay home, and they wanted to be in a workplace, and they didn't want to be home, bored, taking care of the children. And so they had this feminist movement of, okay, well, we want to be a part of the workforce. And then when they became in the workforce, we want to make equal money to men. Even to this day, white women make 77 cents off of the dollar that white men make. But see, they recruited black women for more numbers, the sisters in the struggle. But that really didn't do anything for us because we don't have that same struggle with black men that white women have with white men. They have the power. White men have power and privilege to oppress them. Black men don't have that to oppress us. So we don't have that beef with black men. But that's still kind of like that feminist movement kind of tricked us. Even feminists to this day, it kind of tricked them into believing that we have some type of struggle with the black man, and we don't. Not in that way that they have with the white man. What do y'all think about that? Because Beyonce perpetuates that feminist movement, but for what? Because if you think about it, black women still and white women still have like a pay gap, a wealth gap. Black women make 64 cents off on the dollar, and white women make 77 cents off the dollar. So they don't talk about that in the feminist movement. What y'all think about the current feminist movement?
I mean, it's different when it comes to celebrities. You know, they're on a whole different pedestal
That's
anyway.
true.
You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like you can't even compare a regular individual making $20 an hour,
Right.
and you know her husband making about around the same. You can't even compare those to celebrities. So I mean, it's all in what you want for yourself.
You listen to Beyonce, so.
No, her feminist movement, not like her music, but just her pushing that feminism. You know, she does not only does she have black audience, but she does have white audience. But her as a black woman representing somebody a part of the feminist movement, to me, is just insane. I think that feminism in the black community for women is like the biggest con game ever. Well, one of the biggest con games, because we don't have those struggles. Like, they want us for numbers, and you know, we're not negatively affected by the struggle that they face. And I don't think it's a coincidence that it really had a resurgence during the time that the civil rights era was. That because it was used to distract black women off of the civil rights movement and put them onto women's rights movement. And that kind of created a separation between black women and black men. And then, but back to the topic, that is kind of like the backstory of how feminism really, you know, started that I don't need a man thing. And they brought black women into that. And because of that, like, black women are still somewhat, the black women and black men are still kind of at odds because of that whole, you know, I'm so independent, I don't need no man. Because if you think about it, any relationship, you want to feel like you're needed. You don't want to feel like, you know, any day, like, that you decided to walk out the door, that person is going to be like, okay, you know,
so
whatever.
So what about groupies and, you know, individuals that do leech onto men? Like these women that we sometimes see on like these shows and stuff like that. Like, what are the different, you know?
But they're using men. That's the difference. Like, they're leeching off of them. Not like, okay, I need a strong man to protect me and to provide for me and everything like that. So we can create a union where, you know, things are functioning correctly to raise a black family. They're just trying to get some money or some fame or whatever. That's I don't think that's around the same. But you never know. Maybe guys may feed into those groupie types because
it seems like
it feels like they need it.
Yeah.
You know, like they're needed. They need it for something. I don't know. Maybe they have a complex of that created by, you know, the systematic things that create the separation between us.
Men.
Those women it's called basketball wives and love and hip hop. So those women are naturally famous from the men anyway that's in their lives. Especially in basketball wives. All of them are famous because they basketball players.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
They're probably regular before the show came out.
Basically, they're the opposite of what we're talking about.
When it comes to the systematic things that separate black women and black men, there is another factor that affects us to this day, which is the wealth gap between black women and black men. Mm-hmm. So, put it like this. Black women are not a threat to the system of white supremacy. So, because of that, they get more opportunities than black men will get. You know, whether it's on a job, whether it's in education and things of that nature, it's a little bit easier for us to get certain things because we don't threaten the system like a black man can threaten the system. Because at the end of the day, we are women, and just our genetic makeup is to be, you know, helpful to the man. The man's genetic makeup is to lead and take over whatever it is that he's doing. So what do you guys feel about, I want to hear about from the fellas, what do y'all think about the wealth gap? And I'm not talking, it may not be personal situations between y'all, you know, your girl or women that you deal with necessarily, but in the general aspect of things, I know you guys experienced that, whether it was in y'all relationship or someone else's, of how that power struggle of maybe the woman making more of the money than the man. So what do y'all think about that?
The woman making more than a man, I feel like that was never a major issue to me. Personally, I feel like it kudos if you make more than me. That's like, I would try to uplift you. I would push you forward so you can make more than me. Sometimes I don't feel like working. Let me get an extra.
Right.
Like, let me take an extra day and I ain't got to worry about PTO because I know that you can have all these bills paid.
Right. What you think about it, Tom?
It never really bothered me. Most girls that I dated made more than me. Like, it's not surprising to me because women are more strong-willed and more determined than men, like, naturally. So it never bothered me. Like, if anything, it motivates me.
But Ms. Tish said she was saying that the society is set up for the black family to pay the women more money, so she devalues her husband. And a lot of women, and that's very true. But a lot of women, they'll take that, they'll internalize that, and they'll forget that, okay, that's still the man of the house. And that's where it comes back to the topic of, are we too independent for black men? Because it is not really like in a literal sense. It's more of like, okay, in the psychological sense, like, are you saying, okay, well, I make this and I do this and I provide this, so you can't tell me nothing. You're not the man in the house. I'm pretty much the man in the house if I'm making most of the money. But it doesn't matter who makes the money because, like you said, it depends on what field you're in. If the woman's dream is to be a doctor and the man's dream is to be a teacher, she's going to naturally make more money than him. But he still has to be the head of that household in order for it to function properly. Because if it's a situation where a woman is the man of the household, she's not going to have no respect for that man. And I don't know about y'all, but I haven't seen any relationship last where, you know, the woman is in charge and it is running things and doesn't respect the man.
So naturally with men, what makes us leaders in general, we have a natural habit for being decision makers.
Right.
So women, it happens all the time. Babe, what you want to eat? Naturally, we throw out clues or we throw out hints to try to decipher what it is that you actually want. So we make decisions based off of your input. So not saying that you're irrelevant in a relationship, not saying you can't make decisions.
Right.
But most times when it comes to decision making, the man does it in a relationship.
Right.
So once you lose sight of that and say, oh, well, I make more than him, then the man becomes uncomfortable because now he feels, like you said, unneeded.
Right.
And any man that feels unneeded in a relationship, he's going to find need somewhere else, pretty much.
Right.
That's strong.
I mean, I definitely agree with that. I definitely understand the logic in that because if the man is no longer in his role, he's going to find somewhere where he can have that role in because it's his natural instinct. However, though, depending on the environment of the man, some men take on female tendencies, so they may last a little bit longer in that opposite position. I'm just saying because unfortunately the way that society is set up for black people is a lot of single mothers, and you know, and while single mothers do the best they can, they really can't bring up a man the way that a man should be brought up. So a lot of times the boy or whatever takes on the tendencies from watching his mother, and unfortunately we don't have enough templates into how a normal functioning, you know, black woman and black man relationship should go. And that's why we're having conversations like this to kind of correct those wrongs of how we were taught from our parents who may or may not have been taught correctly. And ultimately things have been set up against the black family because the black family is one of the largest threats to white supremacy by having the male as the leader. And like you said, males, they make best decisions because women, we think just and we're not less than, but we just naturally think more off of emotion. Men think more so off of logic generally, which makes the best decisions. I'm not saying that we know best sometimes, but they you know, when it comes to that logic, that backbone, you know, but you know what I mean. You know, generally speaking, you know, they're always
supposed to be.
That's how it's supposed to be. But yeah, so when that gets messed up, that kind of messes up the black family. And there's always been an attack on the black family since day one, since slavery, since the whole, you know, system began. So we just have to really be mindful of that, you know, as ladies. Just letting him take on that role that he naturally should. And of course, the men shouldn't abuse that, but it's always a balance, you know? Ms. Tish said, the proper order of the household is God, the husband, the wife, then the children. And I totally agree with that. A lot of people think, a lot of women get that mixed up too, that that the child comes before the husband, but the child does not. According to what I've been taught as far as, you know, biblically and all that stuff.
But naturally, you just like, I don't know, naturally you just want the best for your child, you know?
But if you're married, your husband comes first. Now, if you're not married, which I'm not, which none of us are, so there's kind of a difference.
Yeah.
But I still carry it that way in my relationship. Of course, I'm not gonna, you know, if there's a last piece of chicken, I'm gonna make sure I split it up between Chris and Riley. Like, I'm not gonna do Riley like that. But ultimately, the husband comes first. So that is real. That's real.
Thanks,
but,
Tish. I never heard that before.
Yes, that's real. Thank you, Miss Tish.
Pretty dope.
Yes, the husband comes first and then the children. That doesn't mean you neglect your child, but your husband does come first. Hey, so I want to ask around, have y'all ever dated someone, ladies or the guys that can chime in, where, you know, you've made the mistake of trying to run a relationship or having that mentality as I don't need no man, or have guys experienced a situation where the female kind of got ahead of herself based on some false teaching. Because a lot of times, like I said, we don't see the templates all the time. All of us aren't fortunate to see a functioning Black relationship and how things should go. So we kind of going off of what we think or what flawed teaching our parents got that gave us. So what was y'all experience like if y'all ran into that type of situation?
Man, just don't hit him no more.
Like hit him
like
phone no more.
Right.
I mean, you run into a lot because, like I always say, not PG. DMV women are the bougiest women on this side of
for no reason. For no reason at all.
I'm like, y'all, we not living in Hollywood.
Go to Atlanta. And
I feel like the first thing a woman says when you get in an argument with a man is, okay, and I don't need you anyway. You could go, so bye. Or we be like, bye.
Yeah.
That's when we leave.
Right. He said that.
I previously can like relate to that because I was in a situation where I was like that, where I felt like, not that I was making more money, but I felt like I had more value to the relationship. Right. And so that ultimately helped me make a decision on what I wanted to do. But then that doesn't mean that I still don't feel a certain way about the decision that I made. After hearing Tish say that, you know, it just kind of like makes me think about, you know, maybe I should be more mindful and put in the man first, because like African American men go through so much on a daily basis, and you know, I try to understand that in any relationship or anybody that I talk to, because I know it's hard out here for you all. Like, I definitely understand, and I know, especially in the corporate world, you know. So I mean, it just kind of opens my mind to what ultimately what decision I should have to make. But in the same token, you still have to take that and take initiative to strive. Right. You know what I'm saying? Right. Don't let that be your crutch.
Right. You There's definitely work on both ends. But we just have to get this mentality out of our minds that we don't need a man at the end of the day, because ultimately women who internalize that mentality, first of all, if you have a child, if you have children or whatever, you do need a man. Whether it's the man that you have the child with, or another man that you say, okay, well, we not together, but could you be a mentor for my son or for my daughter or whatever, to have that male-like figure. It is our responsibility as mothers, if we don't have that actual father, to have some type of man, because that's the only way to properly bring up a child. Mm-hmm. Who can debate it? I don't know of anyone who can debate that, because it takes two to make them. That's just real. So, but if you don't have a man, I mean, if you don't have a child or whatever, and you just feel you have that mentality, then that's on you. But a lot of women that gets up in age, they kind of regret that from being lonely. But you know, but everybody doesn't want the same thing. And I understand that. So make sure you know that it's not 100%. And what we're talking about is just mostly in general. If you have a child, though, you have no choice. Like, you do need a man around for your, at least for your child's sake. Today we focusing on women when it comes to that mentality in relationships. We gonna have time to talk about the dudes, but we not talking about the dudes today. We gonna talk about us. We gonna put the mirror on us. Because, I mean, we've all had situations where we've, you know, had that mentality and it's been to our detriment. And it's really not, we don't really want the outcome of what that can bring, you know? So, solutions, everybody. I want to hear some. What y'all got?
Be more open-minded.
Yeah,
while you're
don't
in
be so quick to act like you don't care when you do, just so that you can save face or save pride.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Put emphasis on financially don't depend on a man.
Yeah, agreed.
I feel like the biggest issue probably is like a lot of relationships rely on like finance, how much you make, what you do. My advice would be focus more on communication. You know,
because you have to actually
bonding.
like that person.
Yeah.
Actually bonding and like hold a conversation and see what y'all have in common.
Yeah.
And actually work and build. Don't even ask him what he do. Let him tell you. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like don't focus a conversation around
what can you buy me?
Basically.
And then also, if you are in a position where as a woman you're making more than him, or you're given more opportunities, or you've gotten more opportunities, whether it was given to you or not, because I don't want people to be like, oh well, nothing was given to me, and I understand that. But if you get more opportunities than the guy, and he's trying, I'm not talking about dudes that don't try, and he's trying, you know, don't use that against him, and don't be in a position where you think you're superior because of it. And I watch these Dateline clips and all that stuff, and these women who say, you know, I'm a successful black woman, and, you know, I just can't find a man on my level. And they be like, you know, high school counselors. And I'm like, well, what's the... And I'm not having no shade, please, no shade. But, like, you gotta kind of, like, bring yourself a little bit... Humble yourself a bit. Realize where you are. You know, look yourself in the mirror and make sure you're the material that you want. Make sure you're you're that material so that you attract that too. And don't be so quick to judge, because you really could be, you know, missing out on something good. These are conversations that we have to have in our community. We have to control our own narrative. ABC should not be telling us why our teaching was flawed. We should be talking to each other about that. We shouldn't be having the dominant society telling us, you know, where we went wrong with whatever. We can look at ourselves and we can take responsibility for ourselves. All right, everyone. Well, thank you so much for watching the Sabrae Show live, and we will be back next week at 7 p.m.